Let me ask you, Billy. You thought you had added one superstar. You've added two. The pressure sort of goes to you to figure out how to use these guys. What have you done, and what are your immediate thoughts about how you incorporate Carmelo?
Well, I still think that with this happening so close to the first day of training camp, you still have to do things as a team to be successful on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. Obviously, Carmelo is a great scorer. He's done it for a really, really long period of time. I had a chance to spend some time with him yesterday. Really enjoyed, being around him. But for us, it's going to be that process of, coming together as a team, because we obviously have a lot of new players, a lot of different players that have never played with each other. And that process beginning tomorrow to understand that this will be a journey that we'll have to go on together as a group to try to continually improve and get better and become hopefully as close as we possibly can to our ability.
Billy, how much of you got talent? How much is it going to be these guys understanding just because they've all been lead role guys? I mean, is it much a mentality thing? It's just an X and O deal. How they have to work together.
Well, I think that's the case on any team if you want to be successful. Like, there are certain things that I just consider the rules of basketball that you have to do, to be a good basketball team on both ends of the floor. And these guys have been in the league for a long period of time. They've had a lot of individual success. They've had team success in different situations. So again, I think for me, like, the opportunity that we have is the opportunity that we get a chance to go to work every day and improve, get better, and try to figure out, how we can be the best version of ourselves. And again, we'll have to do it collectively as a group. I mean, certainly Russell and Paul and Carmelo, there's a lot of excitement around them, and rightfully so. But, Steven Adams, Andre Robertson, Jeremy Grant, Raymond Felton, like, we got to be a team, and it's got to be all of us collectively as a team. And I think that's where the focus is right now going forward.
Billy, sorry to turn it back to the trio, but do you have a hunch even as to how Russ, Paul, and Carmelo can enhance one another's games?
Well, I think that's it right there. How do we as a team and as a group of players make each other better? And I think to expect Russell, Paul, and Carmelo, or anybody else on our team, whether it be Patrick Patterson being new and Raymond Felton being new, that they're going to hit the ground tomorrow running, and it's just going to be this cohesive unit that's played together for 5 years that just hasn't skipped a beat. That's the challenging part. That's the exciting part. When you start with the building of a team, once training camp starts, is those are the things that we're going to have to work through and get better at. And I think we've got a group of guys that are really good guys that are going to want to do that. I think they understand the things that you have to do to be a good team. So those are areas that we'll have to work through and get better at.
Sam was saying that you kind of view Carmelo as a little underrated as a passer. I wonder if you could just speak to what you see as his strengths, where on the floor you think he might be best suited. Is he a power forward, and what he might be able to bring to wherever he is? Yeah,
I think with a guy like Carmelo and certain players, they're almost positionless players when it comes to from an offensive standpoint because of their ability to do so many different things offensively. I found it very interesting a couple of years ago, even seeing him a little bit, with Team USA and how he played there and different situations he was in there and the way he played the game. Carmelo, even the last 2 years playing against the Knicks, in watching film, like, he's really a smart player. He knows how to play. I think he's got a good feel of how to play. I do think he sees the floor. I do think he has very, very good vision. And I think he put that on display, with Team USA at points in time. So I do think he is, because of his ability to score. I think there's sometimes with players like that, they miss out on seeing a lot of other things they're capable of doing.
Billy, you guys had to part with Enes Kanter in order to get this deal done, and Enes was such a big part of the rebounding dominance that you all have had for the past 2 or 3 years. Does losing a guy like that and gaining a guy in Carmelo Anthony, does it force you to kind of shift your identity as a team and play more of those small ball lineups?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the game's changed in a lot of different ways, over the years. For me as a coach, I think the hard part sometimes is, being with Ennis for 2 years and just the kind of person he is, and the impact that he had on our team. His sense of humor, his, I think, connection inside the team will be missed. And Ennis was a great guy. He was a great team. He obviously loved being here. And to your point, he, in my opinion, is maybe the best offensive rebounder in the game. And, I think he'll be missed. But as we, I think, look at our team now, utilizing different lineups across the front line gives us, some flexibility maybe to do some different things. With Carmelo's situation just happening the other day, I think as a coach, you're always trying to figure out ways to maximize the group. I think defensively, you're going to have systems and schemes. Offensively, you're going to have things that you believe in. But also, I think offensively, you want to put guys in positions systematically that is good for them, where they're able to take advantage of their strengths and talents. For us, defensively, we're going to have to collectively rebound if we are small at times. And at times, I think we'll have to maybe offensive rebound in some different ways.
Also, Kevin Durant made some comments on Twitter talking about his time here. He said that, he didn't like playing for you. He talked about not having teammates good enough to win a championship, talked about the organization. Want to get your thoughts on that, and if there was any conversation between you and Kevin. He said that he reached out to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this, is we did communicate. I enjoyed my time with Kevin, and I felt like Kevin and I had a very, very good relationship, and outside of that, I don't think there's really anything more to say. But I felt like we had a good relationship when we were together.
Coach, how important is it to get Carmelo Anthony at this point in his career after he's accomplished so much? And what does that veteran being at that point in his career do for your locker room?
Well, I think he's huge because he has an enormous amount of respect around the league, as a player, and also as a person. And I think that only enhances and helps your locker room having a guy like that.
There's been a lot of reaction, Coach, around the league.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine. Around the league to what Donald Trump had to say on Friday, his condemnation of the demonstrations we've seen, mainly in the NFL. I just wondered what Billy Donovan's reaction to that might have been.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us here, and again, I didn't see all the stuff that happened. Obviously, there was a lot going on the last 24 hours here, but we're always going to support our players, right, for free speech and things that they're, pointing out. And, for me personally, I also have great respect for our country as well. And it's certainly during some difficult times with different challenges going on. As a person that has coached for a long period of time and been around a lot of different environments and situations, there are a lot of struggles out there, and there's a lot of people fighting a lot of difficulties. And, it's unfortunate because I would like to see our country come closer together rather than being pulled further apart.
Billy, when you had Kevin and Russ there together, you ended up staggering those two guys, first and second unit. Now you kind of have three guys who are somewhere between very good and excellent, first options on a team. What's the best way do you stagger those three guys? Do you work two in a second unit? What's the best way to figure that out throughout the season?
Well, I've always said this before. When you do that, there's going to be a level of sacrifice that goes into, a person maybe doing different things, because when you stagger like that, there's going to be someone getting rests a lot of times twice per half, which could be a little bit different. But my main focus for those guys is first making sure they're comfortable and feel like they're able to get a good rhythm while they're in there playing. There's no question staggering those guys and putting different combinations, whether it be the two of them out there together or the three of them or one of them, you know, that's something that, without question, that we'll have to look at and evaluate and figure out what's the best way to go in doing that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.